Hey, everybody, it's Basketball Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman, and I'm checking out Scoop B Radio.
Scoop B Radio, joined by the incomparable Nancy Lieberman. Man, what's going on?
I like the word incomparable. Nobody's ever used that with me before.
There's a first time for everything, you know.
Yes, there is. I'm happy to be here with you.
I'm glad to be here with you. I feel like women's basketball is in a good place.
Blown up.
But how do you, as a hoops lifer, decipher the people who come to the party because it's cool versus the people who actually enjoy the game?
I like both people because it grows the game. We are in such a great place for women's basketball right now. We'll take the newbies. We'll take the people who have cared about us before it was at the moment where it is, and it's exploding not only in the United States but around the world. And people are recognizing our talent, and there's a history to our talent. So as long as the women know that there were women that kind of paved the way before them, and they do, and they really appreciate the relationship that we have.
I have often felt that you, Lisa Leslie, Sheryl Swoopes were the pillars, and I felt like you all crawled so that many of the likes of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark could fly. I want to take it back to the early days of women's basketball, pre-private flights and five-star hotels. What were the pillars for you guys like, hotel-wise, accommodation-wise, and just moving and grooving?
Well, everybody has a starting point. So even though I might have been an unpaid pioneer or an unpaid Olympian, it's okay. It's part of the progress that you have to go through. Somebody has to kind of lay down the bricks on the road. There were people that came before me. And when I got to Old Dominion, we started selling out 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. We were the first women's collegiate team to play live championship game on TV, not tape delayed. And then Cheryl Miller's group came in, and Cheryl did a great job at USC. Then there was Lisa Leslie's group. So it just kept going. And when I look at Angel Reese today, when I look at Caitlin Clark today, they're amazing, and they're doing great things for the game. It's not their fault that they're in this generation. It's their blessing. And so we're going to have to just, we're going to celebrate them. We're not going to tolerate them.
No, I like it. As a basketball lifer, I'm curious. You hear a lot of talk about the notion that Caitlin and Angel are you guys' modern day Larry Bird, Magic Johnson.
I like it.
You do?
Yeah, why not? Rivalries are good. Martina and Chris, right? In any sport, Ali and Joe Frazier. It just brings fans. There's people that like Angel, love Angel. There's people that love Caitlin Clark, but both of them together are powerful. Camila Cardoza. There's just a lot of young people coming into the game that we saw playing against each other in college, and now they're doing it at the professional level.
To kind of piggyback off that your assertion and my question, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, they say saved the league in 1979, the NBA. Do you remember, I don't want to ask your age, and that's why that's a woman's age, but what do you remember? What do you remember with your family? Just in that point in the NBA in '79 when Bird and Magic were taking over the league?
Well, the one thing that I remember is the rivalry, them playing in the championship game. But everybody, instead of looking at them and saying they're both great athletes, they made it a black-white thing, right? Larry was the great white hope. Irving was Irvin, this enormously talented young man. And they're going to do it today, too. It's going to be split along racial lines. I love players. I don't love color. I love players. And if somebody is great, I don't care who you are. Do your thing. And you'll have the fandom, you'll have the support. But both those young ladies are moving the needle on TV, on social media, on endorsements. The players in the league right now are going to have generational wealth because of them. Look what Michael Jordan did in 1984 for the NBA. He had all the endorsements. He had all the media. He was on TV. He was pushing attendance to sell out everywhere he went. I'm sure there were guys that were jealous of him, but he gave them generational wealth. Tiger Woods did that. He changed the course of golf with purses and TV ratings. You're going to have people like that, and nobody right now has caught the attention of America than Caitlin Clark. Don't get mad at her. Just be a part of the phenomena.
Don't play a hate, congratulate.
I like that. I like that.
Nancy, when you look at women's basketball, like for me, I remember when the NBA Finals were over, and I'd sit and I'd watch the WNBA because it was on, but I actually enjoyed it. When was that point when the WNBA took shape that you stepped outside your house and girls and women recognized you and that made you feel good? How soon were you in the league or associated with the league? Did that automatically start moving like that?
The WNBA will forever be an important catalyst in that moment. I can remember I was a 39-year-old rookie in 1997, and here I am with the Phoenix Mercury. We get eliminated in the playoffs, and I'm doing the TV for ESPN with the late John Saunders. Mm-hmm. And John is in Phoenix, and we're walking around, and every 2 steps, people are like, Nancy, Nancy, Nancy. And John Saunders was blown away. He's like, I cannot believe this is like walking in the street with MJ. The fans that rallied around the W at that time, not only for me, but for Swoopes and Lisa Leslie and some of the other great players that were in the league, mm-hmm. You could see a shift was happening because when little girls get excited about soccer, they go bananas. When little girls get excited about basketball or volleyball, they go bananas. The parents follow, the money follows, the fandom follows.
Joe Mazulla is young, but he's in a good position as the head coach of the Boston Celtics. Have you seen anything like him? And if so, who?
First, Joe's amazing. And Joe, if you're watching this, congratulations. I was actually doing the TV for Dallas Mavericks channel, ABC in Dallas, and I was in Boston for the games. You're amazing. He's disciplined. He understands today's players. The respect that he has around the league is no joke. And a lot of young coaches are aspiring to be like him because he worked his way up. And he did a great job, right? He learned from Ime. He learned from Brad Stevens. You have to be willing and open to learn, mm-hmm. and then apply what you do. So you're seeing right now that people are going to start saying, I mean, we're not dinosaurs. We still have intrinsic value, coaches that are older. Mm-hmm. But if you can blend the youth and the energy and the interpersonal skills with young people who are players, which is very important, you're going to see more and more young people like J.J. Redick mm-hmm. get the job with the Lakers because of the relationship he has with, LeBron first and foremost and AD, but so many other players in this league.
Learn me something. You talked about Caitlin Clark and you talked about Angel Reese and the whole black-white thing with them. But then the whole thing with J.J. Redick as far as the Lakers bringing him in. Some people brought race in as far as him being white, but also him having a podcast with LeBron. But then you also look at the Lakers situation where you brought in Bronny James, son of LeBron. Nepotism and racism to people is a real thing. How did you slice and dice the hiring of J.J. Redick and the drafting of Bronny James?
If people will be, again, open-minded, most people hire people that they know and they feel comfortable with, regardless of color or gender. Mm-hmm. Everybody that I have been hired by in my life has been men that I've known, okay, and there was a comfortability. Rich Paul is one of the smartest people that I've ever seen. Look what he has done in partnership with LeBron James. And he has become the big power broker in the NBA. Mm-hmm. So JJ is now repped by Clutch. So now Rich goes to the Lakers and says, look, I think this is the guy, or I don't even know if LeBron, I'm sure he was involved on some level, but there's a comfortability. He respects his IQ. If they don't respect you, they will not hire you. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, is there a game plan? Absolutely, there's a game plan there. It wasn't happenstance that JJ went there. It's not a happenstance that, the Lakers, with the 55th pick, took Bronny James. If I were in that same situation, and Bronny can play. We don't know what his level is yet, but he can play. Mm-hmm. So it's not like just throwing your kid out there and giving him a payday. Mm-hmm. He's going to either make it or not make it. But to be able to play with your son, which is historic, I mean, go talk to the Griffies and see what that was like. Go see Dion coaching his kids. My son TJ plays for me in the Big Three. Mm-hmm. I'm sure people said, well, he's just a white kid. She's just giving her son a payday. Yeah. And so everybody's going to have an opinion, but I would do exactly the same thing that happened in LA.
Well, opinions are like elbows. Everybody has one.
Yes.
Before we get out of here, a couple more questions. You are on the broadcast for the Dallas Mavericks. Luka, Kyrie Irving, and now you have Klay Thompson.
Excited. The
shooter for hire in Dallas. I feel this way. You're the expert. I'm curious. Will Klay's presence in Dallas be like Ray Allen's in Miami with the Heat with LeBron and Wade?
That's a great analogy. I think that's going to be really important. You always have to have somebody in the locker room that has a story of winning. Kyrie has won. Now Luka's been almost to the mountaintop. Klay's going to be able to walk in there and tell him what it's like to win 4 rings, with that team, the dynasty, and what they did and how they prepared. It's just another person that Luka can learn from, and then Luka can share his extraordinary talent. I'm a huge fan of Kyrie Irving, and I just think that this is going to be a major piece to help them. He'll stretch the floor, legit certified scorer, right? Mm-hmm. Shooter. I know, Derek Jones Jr. knocked down some threes, and PJ knocked down some threes. They're not Klay. Okay? So, not to take anything away from them, but this guy's going to the Hall of Fame. And shooters shoot, and I think he's going to be a great addition to the Mavericks. And what Nico did, with Gafford and bringing in PJ, they're set up for success for the next 4 or 5 years.
I like it. You answered all my questions.
I did?
And you did. You're off the hot seat.
I'm not even sitting.
You're off the hot coals then.
I like being here with Scoop B.
I like being here with you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
You're great.
You as well.